Bismillah, alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala, summa amma ba'd. To proceed. So as we said today, inshallah, we will go over two chapters, the chapter on blockage and the chapter on the residuary heirs. Imam Qudamah rahimahullah ta'ala, who died in the year 620 after Hijrah, said in his book al-Umdat, يسقط ولد الأبوين, under the chapter of blockage, يسقط ولد الأبوين بثلاثة بالابن وابنه والأب. The full brother will be blocked by three: the son, the son's son, and the father. The full brother will be blocked by three: the son, the son's son, and the father. ويسقط ولد الأب بهؤلاء الثلاثة وبالأخ من الأبوين. The paternal half brother will be blocked by those three above and the full brother. Okay, so we're talking now about blockage. And as I said, that you will need to come back to this chapter and read it after you go over this chapter, residuary heirs. Let us start by the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ that describes how we will divide the order that we will follow to divide the estate. This Bukhari and Muslim reported from Abdullah ibn Abbas that the Prophet ﷺ said, ألحق الفرائض بأهلها فما بقي فلأولى رجل ذكر. ألحق الفرائض بأهلها فما بقي فلأولى رجل ذكر. So give al-fara'id are the designated shares, okay? The designated shares. You have one, like how many designated shares that we have? 2/3, 1/3, 1/6, 1/2, 1/4, 1/8. 6 different types of designated shares. Give the designated shares to those entitled to them, أهلها, the people of the designated shares, the heirs were entitled to designated shares. Give them their designated shares. فما بقي, whatever is left, whatever remains, or the remainder, فلأولى رجل ذكر, will go to the closest male man, male man. The Prophet ﷺ mentioned the zakar here to basically emphasize that I do not mean rajul in the sense of an adult male. I just mean male. That's why he said that. Okay, and we will come to it when we come to talk about the residuary heirs, and we will say why is it given to awla rajul zakar, to the closest male relative, because they are the asaba. The closest male relatives are the asaba. That man is required by the Sharia to bail the deceased out if they get in trouble, to pay the indemnity if they are if they injure someone or kill someone by mistake, or something of that nature. So they're called the asaba. Asaba is the head. The asaba is the headband. You know that? It gives you strength. It gives you support. The headband, you used to tie it. So it gives you strength and gives you support. They surround you. They protect you. They bail you out, they take care of you, they're responsible for you also in terms of finances and so on. So it was expected that they would be getting the remainder of the estate after the people with designated shares get their shares. That is why it is the closest male relative, and that's paternal male relative, male relative on the side of the father, paternal male relative, the closest paternal male relative. So this hadith that we talked about here, give people with designated shares their shares, and then the remainder goes to the closest male relative tells us that the first we will give al-fara'id li-ahliha, or the designated shares will go out first. The designated shares will go out first. And then the residuary heirs, the residue will be distributed, the residuary heirs. Then, if you don't have residuary heirs, what do you do? Or if you have extra, what do you do? Like extra, you will have a rad, which is redistribution. Redistribution. That's the concept of a rad. Asaba. Al-furud. Okay. And if you don't have relatives in the first place, deserving of designated shares, all residuary heirs, none, what do you do? According to us and the Ahnaf, what do you do according to the Hanbalis and Ahnaf? You give to Zawi al-Arham, to Zawi al-Arham, which are the other kin. I translate this as other kin. Sometimes they are translated as remote kin, but as I said, I chose other kin because your maternal aunt is not really a remote kin. It is, the Prophet ﷺ said, al-khalatu bimanzilat al-walida. The maternal aunt is like a mother. So if she is like a mother, you can't call her a remote kin. But al-khala would be of ulul arham, the maternal grandfather would be of ulul arham, and we will come to the chapter of ulul arham. And if we don't have ulul arham, what do we do? The public treasury, the Muslim public treasury, because all the Muslims are his family now. If we can't find this, that, then the family is the ummah. So, Bayt al-Mal. Bayt al-Mal. The Malikis and Shafi'is will give Bayt al-Mal before Dhawi al-Arham. The Hanbalis and the Hanafis, and I think that this is the stronger position, will give Dhawi al-Arham before Bayt al-Mal, which is the public treasury. Okay. So we are following this order. We are following this order in distributing the estate. But we're now talking about the chapter of blockage, and we said that some people will block other people. We have two different types of blockage. We have Hajj bi-Hirman and Hajj bi-Nuqsan, partial and complete blockage. Hajj Hirman is called complete blockage. Hirman, tahrim, to deprive of. Deprive someone of something, tahrimuhu, to deprive of. So deprivation. We call it complete blockage. Hajj bi-Nuqsan, which is partial blockage, is to decrease their share. Not to completely block them, but to decrease their share. It is called Hajj bi-Nuqsan, or partial blockage. So we will talk about the two. But a concept that is important to remember here, that blockage is different from, al-Hajj is different from al-Mana. Mawana al-Irth are the hindrances to inheritance. What are the three hindrances? صح. So the three hindrances to blockage will be al-qatl wal-riq wa ikhtilaf ad-din. So al-qatl would be murder. You can't inherit someone after you murder them. Riq would be slavery because they don't own. So the thing that you could do to them is to free them, to emancipate them. Tadbir, which is to emancipate during the life or after. Which is called tadbir, which is sort of immediate emancipation upon the death of the master. So murder, slavery, and ikhtilaf ad-din. So difference in religion. These are called mawana. Difference in religion. These are called the mawani', which means hindrances. Hindrances. The difference between people who are hindered, the mamnu', and the people who are blocked is what? The difference between this group and people who will be blocked, اللي هو حجب الأشخاص, people that will be blocked by someone else who is more deserving. What is the difference? These people, as if they don't exist. They will not sort of exercise any effect on the distribution of the estate. As if they do not exist. As if they do not exist. These people will continue to be there even if they don't, they will continue to exercise. I'll give you an example. Someone died and was survived by a husband, mother, and two maternal husband, mother, father, and two maternal half siblings, half siblings. Father, husband, mother, two maternal half siblings. The two maternal half siblings will inherit?
No.
Why?
Because of the mother's presence.
No, you should say because there is father only. Because the husband would not prevent them from inheritance. The mother would not prevent them from inheritance. The maternal half siblings, when do they not inherit? If you remember from last time, who will block them? And it is coming, by the way. No, don't say father. Say the male ancestors and inheriting descendants. So, al-asl, al-warith, al-muzakkar, and al-far' al-warith, whether it is muzakkar or not. Al-far' al-warith means inheriting descendants. Al-asl, al-muzakkar means male ancestors. So male ancestors and inheriting descendants will block the maternal half siblings. Are they blocked here? Yes. Why? Yeah, the father is considered male ancestor. Will block them. Now, do they affect the inheritance of the mother? Will they affect? How come? They're blocked. How could they affect the inheritance of the mother when they are blocked? Because they are blocked by a person, they are not hindered by a mana or a hindrance of inheritance. Had they been, let us say, there is not even a father here. But those two maternal half siblings had to be of a different religion. Different religion. Okay? They will not inherit. Will they block the mother from taking her greater of two shares, which is 1/3 and 1/6, we said, for the mother? Will they block her? No. Why? Because of the hindrance, as if they don't exist. So with hindrances, as if they don't exist. But if they are blocked, they still exist. There is still the influence, sort of, they affect some influence in the distribution, even if they personally will not inherit. But they are still there. And we will still consider their presence even if they will not inherit. They can still exercise some power. They are blocking the mother, even though they are not inheriting themselves. When the father is present, if they are just blocked by the father, and they are blocked, they will still block the mother, partially block the mother, from taking the 1/3 to taking the 1/6. Correct?
Dr. Hazem,
Yes.
in this example, if the maternal uncles, they were from different religion, so the mother will get the 1/3 and the husband will get the 1/4. So what happened to the rest of the inheritance? Will it be redistributed to the mother, or what happened?
The example when they are of different religion, so you have a mother and you have what?
Husband
A mother and a husband.
and the uncles, or the paternal
Okay,
maternal.
good. So you have a mother and you have a husband, and do you have the maternal siblings or not?
Yes, but they are different religion.
Okay, so they're not here with us.
Yes,
You don't need to write them. Okay, so mother and husband. Who else do you have?
that's it.
That's it. So the mother will get what in this case?
1/3.
1/3. What does the husband get? What?
2/3.
1/2. Yeah. Okay, 1/2. So why is the husband getting 1/2? No children. Okay. That's the only thing that affects the husband and the wife. Children. And what do we mean by children? Children who will inherit. So the granddaughter, the daughter of the daughter, or the son of the daughter, will they inherit? No. So it is that your immediate children, regardless of their gender, and the children, regardless of their gender also, of your sons. Your immediate children, regardless of their gender, and the children of your sons. Okay, so when we have inheriting offspring, inheriting descendants or inheriting offspring, the husband will be partially blocked from 1/2 to 1/4. Here, the husband is not partially blocked. He will take 1/2, the mother will take 1/3. What do we do with the rest? How do you distribute the rest? We are left with 1/6. Go back to the mother. But did you ask if there is any asaba, if there is any residuary heirs? So this person has no paternal male relatives whatsoever. مقطوع من شجرة.
No.
Paternal male relatives. If he has a cousin, a paternal, no, not maternal. That, his father, the father of the deceased, had family. If you can find a paternal male relative, no matter how distant they are, they will get the 1/6. Let us presume that we don't have a paternal male relative whatsoever. Then the mother will get the rest, because that is called redistribution. And as we said before, and we will come to it in the chapter of redistribution does not entail spouses. Everybody with designated shares will be part of the redistribution, not the spouses, other than the spouses. Even though Osman said it would entail the spouses, but the majority and the four madhahib said it does not entail the spouses. Okay, so now we're talking about blockage here. So blockage will be partial blockage and will be what? Complete blockage. In asabat, if we're talking about asabat among themselves, residuary heirs among themselves, what do they do to each other? They cancel out each other. Unless they cannot cancel out each other. What are you looking at? You're looking at first al-jiha. The second jiha, which means what? Direction. The second is al-qurb. This means what? Proximity. The third is al-quwwa, which means what? Strength. What do we mean by al-jiha? We mean by al-jiha, okay, so we have in this order, jihat al-bunuwa, filiality, children, descendants. They come first. They block everyone, either completely or partially. So they will not completely block the ancestors. They will not completely block the ancestors. But al-jiha goes first to al-bunuwa, filiality. Second, al-ubuwa, paternity. Third, al-jududa, which is grandfatherhood. That's paternal grandfatherhood. Fourth is al-umuma, which is unclehood, paternal unclehood. So in that order, first is al-bunuwa, second is al-ubuwa, third is al-jududa, fourth is al-umuma. Filiality, children. Paternity, father. Grandfatherhood, jududa. Umuma, unclehood, paternal unclehood. So these are the jihad. So if I have a son or a son's son, the son or the son's son will cancel out, will block all the hawashi, all the sides. Cannot block the ancestors. But to some extent, he will affect the ancestors. He will take priority over the father, even the father. The son will limit the father to what? Huh? Fourth. الله يهديكم. احنا لسه مخلص. Huh? 1/6. 1/6. So the son will limit the father to 1/6. The daughter limits the father to what? Huh? No, 1/6 and the rest, because he will still get the rest. 1/6 plus the rest, if there is the rest. In the absence of son or daughter, the father inherits by ta'asib, as a residuary heir, as a residuary heir only. The daughter kept the father to 1/6 plus the rest. Why? Because you don't want him to be completely canceled out. You want to, because the daughter will get 1/2. Will get 1/2. If we say that the father will only inherit the remainder, he may not inherit anything, because the daughter just alone got 1/2, and everybody else is crammed into the other half. So you want to protect the father when there is a daughter getting the 1/2 by herself, or two daughters getting 2/3, and everybody else is crammed into the 1/3. You want to protect the father. You want to keep something for him. So that is why when we say when there is a daughter or daughters, the father will get the 1/6 plus the rest, because oftentimes he will not get anything other than the 1/6, because there will not be a rest. Okay, but in the presence of a son, the father gets what? 1/6 only, because the father cannot inherit by ta'asib as a residuary heir in the presence of a son or a son's son. Why? Because the jihat al-bunuwa, that direction, which is the bunuwa, children and the children of the children, has priority over jihat al-ubuwa. Has priority over jihat al-ubuwa, which is the paternity. Why? Are they closer to you than your parents? No, they are not. But they say لأنه مقبل والأب مدبر, because he is مقبل على الحياة, يعني up and coming, and the father is, whatever politically correct statement to say about this. so more responsibilities and so on and so forth. Okay, so that is al-jiha, the direction that we'll give first. So in the presence of a son, he will limit the ancestors and cancel out all the hawashi. The deceased, the siblings of the deceased, none of them will get anything, whether they're maternal, paternal, or full siblings, the uncles, the cousins, everybody's out. Nephews, everybody's out. There is a son, okay? Then that is al-jiha. The second thing is al-qurb, which is proximity. Proximity. Every son will cancel out or block a son of a lower generation. Every father will block a grandfather of higher generation. So qurb, proximity to the deceased, okay, is the second. After jiha is the first, qurb is the second. Let us say al-quwwa. Al-quwwa is the strength. So I have now, the deceased did not have sons and did not have fathers. Let's not forget about the grandfather now because it's complicated with the brothers. But the deceased had two brothers. One of them is full brother, and the other one is paternal half brother. Full brother and paternal half brother. Who gets the remainder?
Full brother.
The full brother. As Ali radiallahu anhu said that, you know, when he said that إنكم تقرؤون هذه الآية بعد وصية يوصى بها أو دين وإن رسول الله قد قضى بالدين قبل الوصية وقد قضى أن أبناء الأعيان قبل أبناء العلات وقد ورث أبناء الأعيان دون أبناء العلات. So you read this verse after a bequest that they have bequeathed, or a dain or a debt that has to be paid off. But the Prophet ﷺ decreed that the dain or the debt be paid off before the bequest. And the Prophet ﷺ decreed that the children, the full siblings, inherit before the half siblings. That's half, the paternal half siblings, abna al-allat, from different mothers. Okay, so al-quwwa would be the third one. Now someone may say, but there is a particular person that, you know, like I have a paternal brother, for instance, that I like more than my full brother. Well, give him during your life, or bequeath something to him. You know, make him part of your wasiyah. That's fine. Allah gave you 1/3 to give you some maneuvering here in the 1/3. And then 2/3 you cannot touch, except with the approval, or it's controversial, you know, whether you can touch it or not, but it is valid certainly with the approval of the heirs. Whether it's halal or not, that's a different issue. But Allah give you at least 1/3 for your own sort of preferences and sort of inclinations. You're more inclined to some family members. You have an aunt, for instance, a maternal aunt that you like, or a paternal aunt that you like so much. Allah give you 1/3 is plenty of room here in that 1/3. Okay, so no problems there. So jiha, qurb, and quwwa, direction, proximity, and strength. We follow this order. So if I have, he said here that the full brother will be blocked by 3. The son, the son's son, and the father, right? So why? Because the full brother, the jiha of al-ukhuwa or brotherhood comes after which jiha? He's a branch from al-ubuwa. So if I have here is the deceased, for instance, and I have here a son, and I have here a father, and I have here a grandfather. So I have here an uncle. The uncle is coming down from the grandfather, right? The sibling of the deceased is here, is coming down from which one? From the father, okay? So this is the deceased. This is his father. This is his grandfather. This is his son. This is his son's son. This one gets, precedence over anyone else. Followed by this one. Followed by this one. Go down all the way. Okay. Now I'm done. None here. I'll go up. Al-Ab, will block anyone else other than the descendants. So the father will block the grandfather. The father will block the siblings. The father will certainly block the uncles. Blocks everybody, other than the descendants. The grandfather, according to the Hanafis, will also act like a father and block everyone, and then everybody will be sort of happy, and we're not going to have all the difficult masail of the grandfather and the siblings. And that is also a report within the Hanbali madhab, but it is not the popular report. The popular report within the Hanbali madhab and the Malikis and Shafi'is, they will give the siblings something with the grandfather. They will allow the siblings to inherit with the grandfather. But then but forget about this. But at any rate, who is stronger, the grandfather or the siblings? At any rate, who is stronger? The grandfather is always stronger. That is why he gets the better out of 2 or 3 options, as we have explained in the past. So we'll go to the father, and if the father is not present, we'll see if there is a grandfather. Okay, none here. Then immediately after the father, we will go to the siblings, because they come from that father. And so the siblings will be first, or the uncles? Of course, the siblings, because they are connected to the deceased through the father, not the grandfather. And the father is closer, so we'll go to the siblings. Not only the siblings, but the children of the siblings, and the children of the children, and the children of the children, and the children of the children. This will inherit before the uncle. You could say, how come? This is too far away. No, but when you go down, we will give them the place of their sort of ancestors. We'll give them the place of their ancestors against someone from the other direction. Just like here, you could say that the grandfather is closer than this one. He's connected to the deceased through 1, 2 connections. The grandfather is connected to the deceased through 1. No, we're not looking at proximity before direction. Direction comes first, before proximity. Okay, so we're going down this way, and then we're going up this way, and then from the father we go to the siblings and the children of the siblings. The son of your brother, and the grandson of your brother, and the great-grandson of your brother, and the great-great-grandson of your brother, and so on. No one here, you go up one level. You're going up one level. So you go to the grandfather and the uncle. And then the same applies here. All those will get priority. Right, okay? Well, in the presence of this will not inherit. In the presence of this will not inherit. But in the absence of this and this and this and that, this will inherit before anyone else that is more distant. Could there be anyone more distant? Yes. The great-grandfather here. Okay. So that is the sort of the distant uncle. The distant uncle. Okay. So we will go this way. Okay. And then And then, can they be, we're not talking about them being alive. We're talking about, their descendants. So it is, and people who actually keep track of their family lineage, they can identify very distant male relatives. And it could be sort of official. It can be proven, that this is a very,
They make money on it.
Oh, they make money on it? So, so keep this in mind. He said, after he said the full brother will be blocked, the full brother will be blocked by the children, will be blocked by the father, and then the grandfather is the long story that we went over before. He said the paternal half brother will be blocked also. The paternal half brother will be blocked by the same three, right? But in addition to the three, the son, the father, the son's sons, and the father, in addition to the three, the full brother. How is he blocked by the full brother if they are the same direction? And the same proximity? Strength, قوة. The full brother is stronger heir than the paternal half brother. So it will be this. Now the nephew will be blocked by the brother. Let us say, right or wrong? It doesn't even have to be his son. Like okay, so this is the deceased, this is the father, this is a sibling. There is another sibling here, another sibling, okay? Another sibling. And the other sibling had a son. This other sibling died. So the deceased was survived by his brother and his nephew, son of his brother. Who inherits the brother? Does the nephew get anything? No. Because proximity, closer to the deceased than, okay. Then the Sheikh said, ويسقط ولد الأم بأربعة بالولد ذكرا كان أو أنثى وولد الابن والأبي والجد. The maternal half brother will be blocked by four: the son or daughter, the son's child, the father, and the grandfather. The father and the grandfather. Now, the maternal half sibling, what do they inherit? Do they inherit by ta'asib, as residuary heirs? Maternal half siblings, do they inherit as residuary heirs? No. They inherit as ashab furud, heirs with designated shares. But even though they inherit as ashab furud, many block them. And it is not partial blocking, it is complete blockage. Who blocks them? All inheriting children. Any child that will inherit will block all the maternal half siblings. Okay. And who else blocks them? Okay. It will be better to say male ancestors. Why? Because you don't need then to say the father and the paternal grandfather and the paternal great grandfather and the paternal great 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 grandfather and so on and so forth. So you just say male ancestors. In Arabic, what is that called? Al-asl al-mudhakkar. Al-asl al-mudhakkar. الفرع الوارث والأصل المذكر. فرع الوارث means inheriting offspring. الأصل المذكر means male ancestors. Male ancestors. Inheriting offspring, male ancestors, they block the maternal half brothers, ancestors, maternal half siblings. What?
Even full as well. They block.
No.
Maternal, they should block the full also.
No, because the grandfather and the great-grandfather, according to the majority, will not block the siblings. The siblings will still inherit with them. So that description applies to the maternal half-siblings only. The maternal half-siblings will be blocked by any...
We're talking maternal side, right?
maternal half-siblings, your mother's son or your mother's daughter,
Yeah,
that is not your father's,
they're not blocked by the children. We block them.
but not the full.
The full doesn't get blocked.
No, if you are if the full sibling will be blocked by not all the inheriting children, only the male, because how do they inherit? The full siblings inherit as residuary heirs. Who can block them? A residuary heir that is closer. That is the male children of the deceased, not the female children of the deceased. In addition to this, al-asl al-muzakkar, or the male ancestors, will by consensus block the maternal half siblings. However, the full siblings will be blocked by consensus by the father only. Grandfather or anyone higher from the grandfather will block the full siblings according to the Hanafis and one report in the Hanbali madhab that is the unpopular or weaker report, not the stronger report. Okay, so the maternal half-siblings are, this is the kalala that is mentioned in the ayah in the Quran. When Allah, ولكم نصف ما ترك أزواجكم لم تكن منها فإن كانوا منها فلكم ربع مما تركتم من بعد وصية يوصين بها أو دين وإن كان رجل يورث كلالة أو امرأة وإن كان رجل يورث كلالة أو امرأة وله أخ أو أخت فلكل واحد منهم السدس فإن كانوا أكثر من ذلك فهم شركاء في الثلث من بعد وصية يوصى بها أو دين غير مضار وصية من الله والله عليم حليم. وإن كان رجل يورث كلالة, if it is a man that is that will be inherited as a kalala. Kalala means the man who does not have the two pillars. That is why it's kalala. So that sort of like infers weakness. Doesn't have the two pillars. Does not have the children, meaning inheriting children, or the male ancestors. Okay. The Shaykh then said, ويسقط الجد بالأب وكل جد بمن هو أقرب منه. Every grandfather is blocked by the father, and every grandfather is blocked by a grandfather who is closer to the deceased than he is. That's obvious, right? Every grandfather is blocked by the father, and every grandfather is blocked by a grandfather who's closer to the deceased than he is. This is the proximity thing. Proximity. Now, every person who is connected to the deceased through another person will not inherit in the presence of the connection except two. One by agreement of the four madhahib, and one according to the Hanbalis only. Who is agreed upon by the four madhahib? The maternal siblings will inherit in the presence of the mother. That is by agreement of the four madhahib. Which one, according to the Hanbalis only?
Paternal presence of the father. Paternal grandfather in the presence of the mother. I get it wrong?
The paternal grandmother in the presence of the father. Her son is alive. وأول جدة أطعمت السدس كانت امرأة مع ابنها. كانت جدة مع ابنها. So the first woman, وأول جدة أطعمت السدس كانت أم أب مع ابنها وكانت جدة مع ابنها. So the first woman, as Abdullah ibn Mas'ud said, the first grandmother who was given the 1/6, it was a grandmother who was given the 1/6 in the presence of her son, and that's why the Hanbalis act upon this, and they will give her the share of the grandmother, even though her son, which is the connection between her and the deceased, is present. She is, okay, here is the deceased. Here is the father of the deceased. Here is the mother of the deceased. Here is the paternal grandmother. Paternal grandmother. If the mother of the deceased is not there, is dead, or the mother of the deceased has one of the three hindrances, but she's out of the equation. She's out, then she will inherit as a grandmother, even if her son is present. According to whom? Hanabila only. Okay, so these are the two cases, only two cases, where someone inherits from someone even though the connection between them is alive and deserving of inheritance. Alive and will inherit, will also inherit. Okay, so I was too optimistic to think that we will finish the 2 chapters. But because we're just coming back from vacation and some things needed to be sort of repeated, rehearsed, I think that inshallah next time we will be able to finish Bab al-Asabat, the chapter on residuary heirs, and maybe we can, or just Bab al-Asabat, the chapter on residuary heirs, inshallah. قولوا قولي هذا أستغفر الله لكم سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.